Okay, so let's talk about a question that probably hits all of us at some point. Maybe it's late at night, you're staring at your screen, and you just think, is this job actually making my life better? Today, we're diving into that big, complicated question: can work really lead to self-fulfillment? You know the feeling, right? It's that quiet, nagging voice in the back of your head. You're doing the work, you're paying the bills, you're moving forward, but you just can't shake that feeling. Is this it? It's a totally universal anxiety, and it's really at the heart of what we're trying to figure out today.
So, can our jobs give us that deep sense of meaning we're looking for? Well, the answer seems to be a resounding yes, but it's complicated. Work absolutely can be a source of incredible fulfillment. But, and this is the really important part, it's never a guarantee. It's not automatic. It all comes down to the kind of work you're doing and, even more, how that work connects with who you are as a person. To really get this, let's break it down. Think of fulfillment less like some magical, far-off destination and more like a recipe. Seriously, there are specific key ingredients that, when you put them all together in the right way, create that deeply satisfying feeling we're all looking for. And just so we're all on the same page, what do we even mean by self-fulfillment? It's the feeling that you're actually realizing your potential, that you're using your skills, and that you're building a life that feels genuinely worthwhile to you. It's way more than just being happy in the moment.
Now, you might be thinking this all sounds a little philosophical, a little vague. But it's not just guesswork. There's some amazing psychological research out there that gives us a real framework for understanding what actually drives this feeling of fulfillment. It's called self-determination theory, and the core idea is pretty mind-blowing. Our sense of well-being isn't just random. It's directly tied to satisfying three fundamental, you could say hardwired psychological needs that all humans share. If you can meet these needs, you're well on your way to feeling fulfilled. So, what are these three magic ingredients? First up, we have autonomy. This is your need to feel like you're in the driver's seat, that you have some control over your work and your goals. Second, there's competence. That's the feeling you get when you're good at what you do and you're getting better. And finally, relatedness. This is our fundamental need to feel connected to other people, to feel like we belong. Okay, so how does that theory translate to the real world, to our careers? Well, this is the recipe we were talking about. You need a sense of purpose, a feeling that what you do actually matters. You need mastery, which is really just another word for that feeling of competence. Then you have autonomy and connection, which we just talked about. And one last absolutely crucial ingredient: alignment. Does the work you do actually line up with your own personal values? So, with that recipe in mind, how are we actually doing? Well, the data shows a really interesting picture. A 2023 survey from the Conference Board found that job satisfaction is at its highest point in decades, with almost 63% of U.S. workers saying they're satisfied. That's great news. But let's flip that statistic on its head. That means over a third of the workforce, millions and millions of people, are walking into a job they're not satisfied with every single day. They're missing some of those key ingredients. And this brings us to a really, really important reality check. Because even though we have this perfect recipe, the truth is, a job can't always be the main source of our life's meaning. There are limits. Let's just be real for a second. For a whole lot of people, a job is, well, it's a job. Its main purpose is to pay the bills, to support a family. And you know what? There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, all this pressure we feel to find our one true calling in our 9 to 5 can actually do more harm than good. And you can see the difference pretty clearly when you put them side by side. On one side, you have work that hits all those fulfillment notes. It aligns with your values, helps you grow, builds connection. On the other, you have what we could call instrumental work. It's primarily a transaction for income. Now, that doesn't make it a bad job, not at all. It just means its function in your life is different. It's a means to an end, not the end itself. And honestly, this might be the most freeing idea of all. Fulfillment is a whole life project. It doesn't have to come from just one place. If your job is mainly for the paycheck, that is perfectly okay. You can find that deep sense of purpose, mastery, and connections somewhere else, in a hobby, in volunteering, in your community. It's about building a balanced portfolio of meaning in your life. Of course, sometimes the problem isn't just that a job is instrumental. It's that it's actively getting in the way of our well-being. Things like a genuinely toxic culture, constant burnout. feeling totally unappreciated, or a major clash between your values and the work, these things are serious roadblocks that can make fulfillment feel impossible.
So, with all these challenges and complexities, what are we supposed to do? This brings us to our last section, and I think it's the most powerful one. It's all about taking back some of that control.
If you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Fulfillment isn't something you just stumble upon in the perfect job. It's something you actively build, piece by piece. You are the architect of your own meaning, both at work and outside of it.
And psychologists have a fantastic name for this practice. It's called job crafting. The idea is that you can proactively reshape and tweak your current job to make it a better fit for you. You can change up your tasks, build different relationships, or even just shift how you think about the impact of your work. And look, this doesn't mean you have to completely overhaul your career. We're talking about small moves. Think about a custodian in a hospital who starts to see their job not as just mopping floors, but as creating a safe, clean space that helps people heal. That's a shift in perception. Or an accountant who takes the initiative to mentor a new hire because they value connection. These little tweaks can add up and make a huge difference in how fulfilling your work feels. So I'll leave you with a question to think about. When you look back at that recipe, purpose, mastery, autonomy, connection, and alignment, what is just one small ingredient you could intentionally add to your life this week? It could be at work or it could be somewhere else. Because ultimately, a fulfilling life isn't found, it's built, one ingredient at a time.